Today on R&R on Sports, Larry and Howard react to the 2024 Super Bowl and debate the legacy of Patrick Mahomes. Hear this and more on this week's episode of R&R on Sports. Now, here are your hosts, Larry Robinson and Howard Robertson.
Hello and welcome to R&R on Sports. I'm Howard Robertson.
And I am the preeminent one, Larry Robinson.
Boy, I know you practiced saying it, and I know you Googled it to make sure that you had the pronunciation and the meaning correct.
Well, you know, they say preeminent in Louisville, Kentucky. They say preeminence.
Premise.
Preeminence.
Preeminence.
I'm the preeminence one.
Don't be lying on people in Louisville. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, brother. How you doing, man?
Goodness, that is
funny. We got to talk about Louisville.
That is funny.
You know, we got to talk about the Ville.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson, one vote away from being a two-time.
That's true.
Two-time unanimous MVP.
Pick.
Now, what happened?
Who was the one fool that
I want to know.
Wouldn't go with the
I don't know.
program?
Our crackpot team of researchers.
Y'all find out who that one.
Who was the one
Who
brother
was the lone one?
who said that he was not the MVP of the league? Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, man. It was a Buffalo beat writer who voted for Josh Allen. And for you to say that Josh Allen was the MVP. No, he wasn't even in the same conversation. He needed his vote snatched.
So I've got this nugget for you.
Okay.
In case there are some people that you might run into that say, man, he hadn't won any Super Bowls, he hadn't won any championships, Here's the nugget.
Okay, what's the nugget?
Performance-ship is greater than championship.
Performance-ship
Right.
is
greater
better
than championship.
Okay, help me understand that.
Okay, because when you're talking about an MVP,
Right.
that's an individual pursuit.
Right.
That's not a team thing. Teams win championships.
Right.
Individuals win MVPs.
Right.
And so his performance-ship is why is the only reason he was one vote shy of 2 years in a row, first time ever, I guess.
Right.
Making
Not
history.
2 times in a row, but I got you. Two times unanimous.
Unanimous. Because his performance-ship is most excellent and over the top.
I would agree with that. I think with Lamar, it's that you want him to continue to utilize what got him there.
Yeah.
So what got him there was his legs, was being the threat of him taking off and running a 50-yarder.
Right.
That always kind of lingers in the back of your mind,
right.
of your DBs
right.
and whatnot, that they know that at any time Lamar can take off.
Absolutely.
But when you're not running, it makes you one-dimensional. And although he is an elite quarterback, I don't see Lamar as an elite quarterback because of his arm. I see him as an elite quarterback because he has a really good arm, but he has these legs.
But that is a function of what? One word, Larry.
What's the one word?
Coaching.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I think he got a little bit in his head this year. I think in the AFC Championship game, I think he was in his head because I think he wanted to out-quarterback Patrick Mahomes. You can't out-quarterback or out-traditional quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But
he's more of a traditional
right. He's more of a traditional pocket passer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But with Lamar, you had a tremendous opportunity to put more pressure on their DBs.
Absolutely.
So if you're putting that pressure on your DBs now, your wide receivers are open. You are more open, and you got an opportunity to hit them with that good arm you have.
I agree with you. I think that's part of what's wrong with the entire world in so many ways is there is no balance.
Okay.
There's no balance. It's either one way or the other way. All in, or one way or the other way.
The pendulum swing.
And the pendulum swings. I mean, with severe changes. And I think from a coaching standpoint, he is being coached to stay in that pocket.
Well, they're trying to protect the career. They're trying to elongate his career.
Initially, his first instinct was to fade back, give it a couple of beats, and take the hell off.
Well, see, he was going 3, 4, 5 beats. He's sitting there patting that ball, man. And I'm like, Lamar, take off, man. Run, please. Lamar, you're going to get 20 yards. You're going to get 20.
They don't
you're
want
gonna
him
get
to do
15,
that.
10 yards a clip. And I just say, God dog it.
They don't want him to do that.
But anyway,
hey,
homeboy, he's honorary because he,
because he spent he spent 20 minutes. You're listening to R&R on Sports on the Kazukian Network. We'll be right back after this.
Now you can get me to sing. I love this song. Cheating in the next room.
Cheating in the next room.
Did you hear the begging in those lyrics?
No, I heard that guitar coming in. That thing was crunk.
Blues in the Basement on the Kazukian Network.
Welcome to another edition of Fly on the Wall. Recently, there was a meeting between Roger Goodell of the NFL and his public relations team about his future as commissioner of the National Football League. And now, listen in as you become a fly on the wall.
Hey guys, thanks for getting together on such short notice. Of course, you know the situation and...
Shut up, Pete. That's very rude. Let him finish.
Well, I'm just saying, things don't look so rosy.
You're right, and that's why you're here, because I need to know just how we need to spin this thing.
Come on, Raj. You're toast, man. So however we spin it, we've got to spin you out of there. Either you resign or get sacked.
But how do I keep my good name?
You're good. What?
Shut up, Pete. That's more rude than before. But I think I got something. You're going to resign because guess what? You're blind. You can't see. You didn't see anything. The video or anything else. So you're resigning from the NFL to be a blind singer. Why should Stevie Wonder and Jose Feliciano be the only ones? We can call you Roger Charles, Ray's distant white cousin.
What?
Come on, try this. I got a woman.
I got a
way across town. She's good to me. Now try this. Baby, good. What I say.
Baby, what I say.
Baby, what I say right now.
Baby, what I
we'll
say
get it together.
right.
We'll get it together. Look, Pete, you still got Jay-Z's number?
Yeah, I got it. Just talk to Jay.
Call him.
This
is going to be great. This is going to be great. Come on. I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Oh, Lord.
Hello?
Hey, Jay-Z. Listen, man, I'm calling with Roger Goodell, man. He's going to be the next great. Listen to this. I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Way across town. She's good to me. Baby, it's going to be dynamic, man. It's going to be fantastic, but we need you to produce it, man.
Hey, B, put Blue down. Come on over and listen to this. Hey.
I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Way across town.
Way over there.
We can get it together in the mix, man.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Say, I got a woman way over town good to me. Oh, yeah. She give me money.
Riffin' on jazz.
So all the artists today must be ladies.
Must be.
Oh, my favorite.
You got a problem?
No, that's my favorite.
See, I knew.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kazukian Network.
Back for more. R&R. No, man, just going back to the falsetto.
You want to go with the falsetto?
Yeah. That's
you don't want
pitiful.
my Barry White?
That's pitiful. That sounds like you were in the in the special class.
Back, baby.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something, put a little something on it.
Put something on it.
Put something on it.
Right,
Put
well,
a little
next
Barry
time,
White.
next
Put
time.
a little bit, please, baby. Please, baby, please.
Come back, baby.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Don't say
Welcome
that,
back, baby.
Yeah. So okay. What about the Super Bowl?
Well, first, let me say.
Talk about. Did your team win?
Well, first of all, my team won, and there's no way I'm betting against Patrick Mahomes. It don't make sense. I'm with Drake on this thing. You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. So, but beyond that, let me say something that some people may find really weird, but I gotta say it.
Cause you're a really weird dude.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Right.
But anyway, so Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Tony Romo's commentating ability is extraordinary. I truly believe that he is the best sports commentator on network television or any kind of television. I found him to be extremely entertaining, outstandingly insightful, and just downright comical in his approach and how he called the game. But beyond that, his insight was outstanding. I mean, the dude was calling the plays before he did it. And then it was like they did something like one time he was saying, now we need to spike it. They need to spike it. They need to spike it. But they threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
He said, yep, you would have saved you 5 more seconds if you would have spiked the ball. But however, he's still same point. They gave him to stop the clock. I mean, it was just insight like that only an elite quarterback would probably be able to speak to the way he does.
That's interesting. It didn't hit me the same way, and perhaps I wasn't really listening to it like that. I mean, after all, it was the Super Bowl, and I'm busy focusing.
Were you
on
watching the
happening.
commercials and all that? Were you into the commercials? The
I
commercials
saw
were
them.
horrible, man. That was terrible.
Don't even. Talk
I mean, the
about
commercials
that.
were terrible. Did you see Kanye's commercial?
Not that I remember.
He said I spent all this money to buy this commercial and then didn't spend no money on the commercial because he did it on his phone. He did it on his phone, and he basically put his phone in his face and started telling people go to Yeezy, Yeezy. I mean, that's somebody that just got too much daggone money.
I think we, from a creative standpoint, I think we are in a very, very bad place because I don't think that we have the young talent, unfortunately, that we need that produces compelling, humorous things that everybody. What I heard in the group I was with is weird. And it's weird. And also I also heard, which is a distinct problem. Somebody saying, I'm looking at this thing with about 10 guys.
Okay.
And they said, "What's the product? What they selling?"
Right.
You in this business, I'm in this business.
Right.
If that is the question,
you did a terrible job.
Horrendous job.
Yeah.
You didn't do your job.
Okay.
Cause a commercial, all a commercial is another term for it. It's a sales message.
Right. You're exactly right. But I tell you what, Temu is making a lot of money. They had 3 spots. They had 3 spots in the Super Bowl.
I didn't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, no one did. But don't download it. It's one of them companies that might be looking into your phone. Don't download. Don't download the Temu app. I don't care. If you got problems with TikTok,
get all manner of stuff.
Yeah. Don't do
all
it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Let me ask you this.
Okay. Wait a minute. One more thing. One more point of reference.
Okay.
Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
How does he feel right now, I wonder? Because they actually wanted a harder game with him not being there. And literally, Andy Reid just sat there and called it just as he was an offensive coordinator as he's always been.
He did, despite being attacked by his damn tight end. And that's my question for you. That's my question for you, and it is not rhetorical. It is not rhetorical.
If it had been a brother,
that's what.
Let
me ask my question, please.
All right, well,
let me ask my question. My question is: had Travis Kelce been a black man and having done the exact same thing with Coach Andy Reid that he did, how long do you think it would have taken them to escort his ass out of there in handcuffs and shackles?
Well, you saw Killer Mike during the Grammys. He got handcuffed and he after he won three Grammys.
He said he was sitting up in jail in a tub.
Yeah, he said, "Well, all my heroes have been handcuffed." So I feel him. But anyway. We know if it was Chris Jones versus Travis Kelce, it would have been a different game.
Man,
it'd have been a different outcome. They would have been talking about assault and everything else. But Travis Kelce,
I like you, man.
Here's what it was. Now the Swifties would have tore that place down if Travis Kelce would have had any problems. If Travis Kelce would have had any problems, you wouldn't have got that sweet kiss after the game with him and Taylor Swift.
Ain't gonna tear up nothing.
The Swifties would have acted a fool.
Nothing.
The Swifties would have.
They ain't gonna tear up. They might tear up.
But man, I'm telling you, the Swifties would have tore that place down.
Oh man,
the Swifties would have tore the place down. They better not have touched Travis.
Please,
that's Taylor's baby.
Please.
That's Taylor's baby.
I think the game turned on that missed extra point.
No doubt. It made it attainable that they didn't have to score a touchdown.
Right.
So that took a whole lot of pressure. When you got a cat kicking a 57-yard field goal, longest field goal in the history of the NFL, Super Bowl.
And the ugliest, too.
And that mug was straight. That was a line drive. But that lets you know you don't want to get kicked in the ass by that brother. Because I'm telling you, he'd have kicked you and your butt would have been on your daggone neck by the time. Because I'm telling you, he's got to have the hardest kick in the world. That mug kicked a line
swan.
That mug kicked a line drive for 57 yards. But
yes, sir.
But man, I tell you, now we ain't talking nothing about the game. Come on, what you got? What you got on the game?
Well, I mean, I think the Chiefs did what they had to do. They found a way to win. Going into overtime benefited them, and San Francisco did not finish the job.
Scenario: Patrick Mahomes wins a third Super Bowl in a row. 2025 Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Is he the greatest? Is he the greatest? Is he now the preeminent?
There again. How can you say he's the greatest without saying the team's the greatest? 3 in a row. See
the greatest quarterback.
See where I am?
Quarterback though. Greatest quarterback because you're giving it to Tom Brady. Everybody gives Tom Brady, Joe Montana, as all the props for what they've done. It's still a team game. But at this point, he would have done something that no other NFL team has done or any other quarterback has done in history.
Yes. Arguably, yes.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I ain't going. Yeah. Arguably, yes.
Now, are you going to bet against him next year? Okay.
I didn't bet against him this year.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Now, you was talking about you was a 49er fan.
I was a
49er fan. And all that stuff. So that meant you was betting against Patrick Mahomes.
No.
What did it mean?
That means I was rooting for the 49ers. But you can bet on games. Did you know that you can bet on games now?
Yeah.
I did not.
You didn't. Oh, shit,
no.
You can bet on. You can bet on what kind of color shoes.
Have you done that yet?
Man, this thing has gotten out of control. No, because I don't.
You can bet on anything.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, man. When you start betting on quarters, you betting on the color shoes the kicker's wearing. You bet on the over and under.
Yeah.
You bet. I mean, it's the level of engagement that now comes with the game is off the charts, man. I mean,
so I haven't done it yet.
I can bet on
I've been
anything.
saying that I'm going to, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't either.
All right. So we have a dynamic guest for you. I ain't going to pre-promote it. You just got to stay there and listen to who we got. You know, we always got some brilliance in the house.
Wait a minute.
And
you know, you
different.
see what they've been doing, man?
What?
We had a throwback series. On social media, man, you gotta check out Kazuki and check out R&R.
Right.
We had a whole throwback series. Tommy Smith, John Carlos, Dr. J, Hank Aaron. Man, I'm telling you, don't mess around with R&R, baby.
Our history is good, so be back with us on the other side of this to see who is in the seat today.
Humans Being with Kirk Whalum.
Avery Sunshine, I am just overjoyed to spend some time with you.
Listen, what you know about pot liquor? You from Memphis, so you know.
My favorite part of all of that, I'm like, don't throw that away.
Humans Being with Kirk Whalum.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports. Back. Knew he was going to do that. He always does.
Don't be hating on my sound effects and whatnot, man.
I mean, it's like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football and Lucy pulling it out of the way.
Now, how you make that connection?
Well, I keep trying to get through an intro without you doing.
So listen, man, we got a guest. We got an important guest.
Okay, we do.
And you
absolutely
acting up.
do.
You're acting up in front of people, man.
No, I'm not acting up. I mean,
come on, man. Introduce the brother, man.
Damn.
Brother Deron Cherry.
Tell him who he is, man.
Was I through?
You might have been. You're missing things.
Now you just go on and do it.
All right. Well, I could, but
go ahead. Go on. Can you read?
No, I can't read. Go ahead.
6 straight Pro Bowls. Selected to the Chiefs' 25-year all-time team in 1987. 6 100 tackle seasons. How you tackle that many people, man?
Man, his line and his linebackers couldn't have been no good. This brother played safety and made 100 tackles.
He had to do all of that.
He had to punt the ball and everything.
Brother Cherry, welcome to R&R on Sports. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, brothers. Just glad to be here. And man, I know this show is going to be fun just by the start of it. I can tell you that
was
right
the craziest thing you ever heard, right?
Not your traditional show.
Nah. It's not. Something is seriously wrong with people who listen to us, and we're happy about it.
Listen,
but
check this out, man. This brother was a 6-time All-Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Played quarterback in high school. Mm-hmm. But guess what? He was a little bit too brown to play quarterback in college. So wait. So Deron, tell us what, man. How did
he went to class too? Because he went to Rutgers.
Oh man.
And I actually did play quarterback in college. My freshman year, I was a quarterback.
Okay, all right,
at Rutgers, and played cornerback as well, and was the punter. I did a little bit of everything.
Is that right? You did all of that?
I did all
in
that.
College?
Man. In college, I did all of that in college. And the weirdest thing is that when I was getting recruited in the process, I got recruited by Cornell University, and I went up there for a visit. And this was late in the summer.
He had some test scores.
That brother was intelligent. Intelligent. He might have been Mensa.
Absolutely.
And so I went up there, and then when I came back, I said to the coach that recruited me at Rutgers, he only lived like the town over from me. I said, hey, I think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to go to Cornell. And he came right over to my house and said, if I got to sleep on your doorstep, you're not going to Cornell. You're going to stay here and go to Rutgers. So I wound up going to Rutgers. But the interesting thing behind that is my freshman year, Rutgers played Cornell.
Oh, okay.
And they brought the program book back, and because Cornell was recruiting me to play quarterback.
Oh, wow.
And they told me I was the only quarterback that they were recruiting. And when I saw the program from the game, they had a list of all their freshmen because, at that time, Ivy League schools, you could only play freshman ball. You couldn't play varsity football.
Right.
And they
not
had
just
me
in
listed,
Ivy League schools across the board, D1. Yeah.
They had me listed on their roster as a quarterback that I was on their roster at Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then when I looked down the roster, there was like 11 quarterbacks on the roster. They told me I was the only one.
It sounds like you made the right decision.
I might have been the only brother, but I wasn't the only quarterback.
So in the conference that Rutgers plays in, is it all Ivy League teams that
no,
you play
it wasn't
against?
at the time. They were starting to play. They were independent, so they were playing pretty much everybody. Penn State, West Virginia, they played Army, but they did play some of the Ivy League schools. You know, the longest, the first game ever played in college football was between Rutgers and Princeton.
Wow.
And
Very
my
first college game.
First college game. My senior year was the last year in that rivalry. So that history was over 100, I think it was 113 years at the time.
Who had the edge?
Oh, Rutgers did. We used to clean them up. And the reason it stopped was because, you know, we were starting to play, you know, in 1976, the year before I got there, Rutgers went undefeated. And so they were playing, you know, we went down to Tennessee and upset Tennessee in 1979. I was playing on that team. We played Alabama at the Meadowlands and just barely lost that game. And we played a lot of big schools. So Rutgers was starting to become a bigger force than Princeton. And
y'all beat Tennessee at Neyland?
We did.
Ooh,
sure did. 79.
For those of you who don't know, Neyland Stadium at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville holds about 105,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big
and
stadium.
all of them come out to the game.
So wait a minute. Deron, you had an amazing college career, but you went undrafted.
I did. I went undrafted, and for me, luckily for me, my college defensive coordinator, Ted Cottrell, who coached in Kansas City and coached in Buffalo for a long time, started coaching. He was Bruce Smith's coach before he became the defensive coordinator in Buffalo. All the years they went to the Super Bowl. He wound up coming here in Kansas City under Marv Levy. And and that's how he called me up the second day of the draft and said, "Hey, has any teams called you?" And I said, "Yeah, there's been about 4 or 5 teams that were interested and said they were going to draft me in the second day of the draft. But as the draft went on, I just said, you know, I'm better off going as a free agent. That way I can get to pick where I wanted to go." And actually, Kansas City was looking at punters that year.
Right.
And so I actually signed with the Chiefs as a free agent punter. But they also drafted like 3 safeties that year, and I played safety in college too. So it was just a good opportunity for me to have a chance. Even though when I signed with the Chiefs, I signed as a punter, and then I asked Marv Levy after minicamp to bring me back in and let me try out at safety because they had drafted 3, as I said.
Right.
But I felt like I was just as good as all 3 of those guys that they had drafted. I just wanted to get an opportunity, and he told me to come back in early at training camp, and I wound up competing for a spot on the team as a safety. And I never did punt. And I was I was actually the last player cut that year. Going into the season, they kept 4 tight ends and only 6 defensive backs at the start of the season. And so they had to let me go, but then they called me back and signed me that next week. And I came back out to Kansas City. And when I got back to Kansas City, they told me that there was a player that had gotten injured. And so they were going to sign me. And then when I flew out, got to the stadium, walked in the general manager's office, he said, "Well, he wasn't as injured as so we're not going to be able to sign you."
Man.
So I stayed around a couple weeks with a guy on the team, Gary Green, who was an all-pro cornerback, let me stay with him. And after that next week, the Chiefs called me in and said, "Hey, if nobody gets injured, we're going to have to send you home." And we had 3 guys got injured in that 3rd game of the season, and they signed me immediately right after that.
Wow, this is Iron Sports, and we're speaking with former All-Pro safety Deron Cherry. You got something?
Yeah, I want to ask you this. So, you know, black folk talk around each other in a way that we don't talk typically when white people are present. So one of the things that, and you will get into heated arguments and discussions in barbershops about this, that you have a particular perspective on. So was there a conscious, you were a quarterback in high school, okay? you were a quarterback when you first got to college at Rutgers. Was there a conscious effort to steer you away from that position to something else? Because that's what we say in the barbershop. Well, they don't want no black, But now there are more black quarterbacks than ever in the league. But I was wondering back when you were recruited, if there was a conscious effort to move you to another position.
Oh, absolutely there was. Back then when I was coming out of high school, most teams were recruiting me as a defensive back.
Okay.
Not a quarterback. And maybe because of my height, I'm only 6 foot. So that probably had something to do with it.
That was perfect size then for a quarterback.
Right. But most of them steered you. They always recruit you as a safety or a cornerback or whatever, not necessarily cornerback. Now, I had other skill sets because I could punt and I could kick the ball. And so that added some value.
Could you kick extra points too?
I could kick extra points too.
Deron was gonna find him a way on the team. He's gonna be on the team.
Hey, you know what they say?
Could you snap the ball? What couldn't you do?
Hey, actually, in high school, believe this or not, there were 3 of us. My oldest brother, his senior year, he was the center. I was a quarterback, and then my brother, who was a junior, was the wide receiver. All 3 of us played at the same time. My brother, who was the center, was the long snapper. I was the punter. And then my other brother, he kicked off and kicked field goals for the high school team.
Boy, them Cherries are some kicking people, boy.
I know that's right, man.
I love it.
I know that's right.
Well, listen, this is R&R Sports. We're going to take a little break, but check this out. When we come back, Deron's going to talk about being one of the few minority owners in the NFL, on the NFL team. Also, some of the issues around CTE, and we got a few more things. So listen, don't go anywhere. R&R Sports with the great Deron Cherry right after this.
Hey, I'm Williams Brack, co-host of Grind Set. The insight you gain from us and our guests will motivate you to take the leap into entrepreneurship. So stay with us. What's your grind set? And if you happen to miss some of our episodes, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
Grind Set on the Kadzukian Network.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports.
Yeah, got you, didn't I?
No,
man, listen, we talking to the
pause.
great. We are talking to the great safety, all pro safety,
and everything else,
and punter, wide receiver, quarterback.
What you need? Trainer, field goal specialist.
Okay, Deron, wait a minute. Let's look at these numbers. Check this out. Now, America, listen to this. 6 100 tackle seasons, 6 straight Pro Bowls, selected to the Chiefs' 25-year all-time team, 148 career games, 927 tackles, 50 interceptions, 15 fumble recoveries, 3 returns for touchdowns. Led the Chiefs in tackles 4 times and interceptions in 6 occasions. Won AFC interception title in 1996 with 9 in a season. And they weren't playing 17 games. I'm telling you this, brother. Why ain't you in the Hall of Fame, Brother Cherry? Why aren't you in the Hall of Fame? Talk to me, because I need to know. Because you and Terrell Owens y'all got some kindred stuff going on, and that y'all being held out. Y'all were held out for longer than was really it should have been. I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't be there.
Well, the case is my case hasn't even been heard yet. So, I mean, I've got Hall of Fame voters who have called and said, it's a big travesty. I think they said one of 3 players that was elected to the All 80s Decade team that's not in the Hall of Fame. Everybody else is in the Hall of Fame.
You know what that is? That is finding out when the next meeting is going to be, and somebody just need to kick the door in and come in. Put your name up.
And my thought is this: God knows what I did, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm not going to be like some players that,
I hear you. I hear you.
cry and
Right.
complain, man. That's not me. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
But I would say if somebody looks at what I accomplished over my career and stack my numbers up against all the greats that played at that safety position, then you make the case and you tell me what you think. And I just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you got some gaudy numbers over there, Brother Cherry. You got some gaudy numbers.
Well, that all of those tackles means a whole lot of contact. Whole lot of contact. Talk to us about CTE. Talk to us about your protocols now. Are you checking and being checked and all of that stuff?
Absolutely, all the time. And the NFL is starting to do a much better job at, providing resources for former players, to go get checked out, to make sure that they have, the availability to go to medical sites around the country, to at least get their bodies, their heads, and any type of thing checked out. So I'm real thankful that finally they've recognized that players need long-term care after playing this sport. And so I stay very active with respect to my health and well-being, try to keep my mind as active as possible because, you do understand that one day it's going to go.
Right.
And, you can't play 11 years in the National Football League and have that many tackles and hits and stuff like that and not have some residual effects down the road. But I think if you're able to keep yourself in condition and monitor your health on a yearly basis, you at least got the opportunity to stay healthy longer. And that's what we have to do as players. We understand the dangers. I feel for my fellow players who have taken their life because they've had some problems with CTE. And in Kansas City, we've been affected by it. Javon Belcher, who, killed his girlfriend and then went to the facility and killed him. Those tragedies are something that never leave. And there's an imprint in your mind that says, hey, we try to tell as many players as we can, brothers, get checked out, go to the doctor, find out the resources that this league has available to you to use for free. There's no reason to sit on the sidelines now when it comes to your health, because there's just so many avenues and opportunities that you can get checked out now that we didn't have before.
Right. Interesting.
This is Iron on Sports, and we're speaking with Deron Cherry, Kansas City Chief, one of the greatest of all times. I got a question from a standpoint of being a black quarterback, coming through high school and going to college, then going to punting, and then being a safety, and then being an all-pro safety. You're now a minority owner of an NFL team. There's not many of you.
The first one.
So how do you feel in that space? And do you feel some sort of obligation to open that door a little wider, to leave a little crack in that door so that there can be absolutely more minority owners and maybe even majority owners of African-American men that are majority owners of NFL teams?
Well, I hope so. For us, I was with Jacksonville for about 15 years before we sold the team to Shad Khan, who's the current owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I always felt like, you're breaking a barrier. At the time when I was involved with the Jaguars, as you remember, when the league was going through that expansion, it was me, Walter Payton, Jerry Richardson wind up getting the team. He was a former player, but he wasn't a minority. So it really came down between me and Walter Payton as to who was going to be the one that would become the first African-American, minority owner in the National Football League. And it just happened that Jacksonville got picked and I became the minority owner in Jacksonville, the first. So I'm excited about that opportunity and always wanted to, put that forward so to give more people opportunities to do that. and you go in there with the understanding of the business. It's a long-term investment, from a standpoint of you don't see the value in it until it gets sold. Right. And most of them are owned by families and individuals that usually have right. They usually have something. So when you look at the business from purely a business standpoint, it is a small margin business. Right. Other than the fact that you're growing equity over years and that value increases. So, a lot of guys look at it from a standpoint that, hey, I can invest my money in the stock market and make twice or 10 times as much. So, is it a good investment? It is a great investment if, you're looking at it for the long haul and you're going to pass that down to your family members. But simply from a business standpoint, you have to have that mindset that you're going to be in it for the long haul unless somebody sells it.
Wait a minute, Deron, you literally, I heard that you made $21,000 your first year in the league. Yeah. Going to paying these brothers and other players millions of dollars as an owner. Did you ever feel any kind of way when you start seeing those salaries?
Like, what's that dude asking for? He ain't worth that. I'm a 6-time All-Pro, right? And a 5-time. I'm a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 5-time All-Pro, and I didn't make that kind of money. So why are we gonna pay this guy this, right? But the league has changed, and quite frankly, guys, I'm happy for whatever these guys make. I mean, because I know the toll that it takes on their bodies, and I just pray and hope that these guys understand the opportunity that they have, over the long haul to save their money and to set themselves and their families up for years and years to come, because that truly, it is tragic when guys that you and I both have seen and know that make millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases, and then walk away from the game and have nothing. I mean, literally nothing.
So that's why I want you to talk. That's why I want you to direct the answer to the question I'm about to ask you to younger people. I tell young folk all the time, don't get all enamored and up in the air about what Kevin Durant might make or what LeBron might make or whatever, because at the bottom of all of their checks is somebody else's name. Somebody else has to be making enough money to pay them all of that money. Your name probably was one of the ones on the bottom of the check. So talk to them about, if you're going to aspire higher to do what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always felt like I wanted to be able to control my own destiny and not have somebody dictate to me, where I was going to wind up. And so my opportunity was, I got a chance to get into the distribution business and own my own distribution company with Anheuser-Busch. And mind you, breaking history there, I'm right now currently, I think, one of the only minority owner of an Anheuser-Busch franchise in this country. Wow. And so when you look at that and consider and you think about that, that's two opportunities for me in my lifetime that I've been kind of a trailblazer and gotten into something where I'm literally the only African American that's had the opportunity to do this. And like I say, when I sign those checks, my name's down on that check because, and I'm not relying on
amazing,
right? It's my name and my signature, and and I'm happy to sign those checks. Trust me. But I think
you remember the amount of the biggest one you've ever signed?
Oh man,
that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a good question there. I don't sign too many big checks. The checks that I'm signing that got my name on it is going to Uncle Sam. I can tell you that.
So, Deron,
I'm paying them taxes so they don't come up.
So, Deron, we headed out of the interview. So, what's next? What's next on the horizon for brother Deron Cherry outside of being elected to the National Football Hall of Fame?
Man, I'm working on a lot of stuff. I mean, I have a foundation, right? So we do a lot here in Kansas City. We raise a lot of money to support a number of different charities that I'm passionate about. We have one called Score One for Health. We do health screens in the elementary schools. I work with a group called Camp Quality. We send kids to camp that have cancer in the summertime. We give them a week at camp. We work with a group called Midwest Animal Rescue. We're rescuing animals, giving them a safe home. And then we work with a group called Answering the Call, which is our first responders, police officers that get injured in a line of duty or something, they get sick or whatever. And we try to be a bridge and a gap to help support not only them, but their families. My brother was in law enforcement for a lot of years back in Camden, New Jersey, in that area. Okay. And so I'm really fond of that. So I'm proud of that. And then I'm also doing some development stuff too, where we're developing about 240 acres of property. We're trying to build a world-class soccer facility for young kids and to perform, and with, a lot of different other things, housing and retail and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. That's my passion going forward, and continue to be a force and helping our communities out. Making sure that we're accountable to our young people, especially our young people, because they need that guidance, right? And that they can see people and men of color that are standing for something, right? Standing for the truth, standing to continue to help each other out as we grow and make sure that, we leave this place better than when we found it. So that's my goals right there.
Pushed all my buttons.
To the epitome of to whom much is given, much is required.
Absolutely.
The epitome of that. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do for the community in Kansas City, but also the country, because the impact is, I'm sure, felt across the country.
Totally a legend in your own time. We appreciate you being with us here. And we are going to take you up on coming to Kansas City. I love
coming to Kansas City.
And I got to go. I owe going back there to Gates and talking some more smack so they can feed me some more Q.
They call me, man. My office is right around the corner from the Jazz Museum. I can walk there. So
wonderful.
All right. Welcome to come to Kansas City. And I tell you, you'll be shocked. There's a lot of history here. And
definitely. Home of Charlie Parker.
Hey, man.
That's where Charlie Yardbird was from. That's exactly right.
And we got great barbecue.
That's right. Thank you for being with us here on R&R on Sports. We will be back for more right after this.
Kadzukian. The company is based in Memphis, but it is international.
A new building, an expanded team, new equipment, a new studio, all inside of 7 years.
The resources that we were able to utilize with Kadzukian and their team has been incredible. And our partners at Kadzukian has been a large part of our success.
One, it's Black owned, so we get to tell our own stories in our own way.
With social media and the technology we have today, the world is listening.
Kadzukian. Check out all your Kadzukian favorites now. Download the Kadzukian app, available on Android and iOS.
Back for more as we head to the door.
See ya.
So, shout outs. Go ahead.
I'm going to shout out my man Ursha Raymond.
Wait a minute. This is a cross-cultural show. And good and hell well, white people don't know nothing about Ursha. About when you say Ursha.
Okay, well, let's say Usher.
Listen, white people.
Now, in the
South, in the black community, we pronounce things differently. And Usher is pronounced Ursha.
But now Ursha did an amazing job. Had my frat up there showing out. I had the me and the Kappa Alpha Psi. Had him swinging the cane. Had a young man DJ,
of human endeavor.
Young man DJ.
That's
from Memphis, Tennessee.
That's
and
right.
Kappa Beta.
That's right.
Shout out South Central Province.
That's right.
So yes, I got to give old Ursha a shout out for having a fantastic a halftime show. And he got to rub up on somebody else's wife.
Sure did. I thought
Swiss Beat was going to jump over the daggone railing and come over there. But I know they rehearsed it 1,000,000 times. But, boy, they look awfully friendly.
Yeah, they did. I still thought I was witnessing some
assault,
some betrayal.
I wonder if you had one of them things that kind of showed, Ursha's mind, what was going on in his mind at the time that it was happening.
Oh, look at here. I don't care. I'm going to show the world. Come here. Come here, girl.
Let me lie to you.
Do the Teddy Pendergrass. Come here, baby. Okay.
Take it off.
So turn them off. So my shout out goes to Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq Diesel got his jersey retired
for not winning a damn thing
in Orlando.
For not winning a damn thing.
No, hold on.
He ain't won nothing in Orlando.
He had to win.
He didn't win nothing. Then he left with total acrimony.
It was performanceship. But I want to know what took the Orlando Magic so long. Did they have such a backlog of game-changing, excellent players having been on the team that they just are now just getting around to retiring Shaq's jersey?
It's the first jersey they've ever retired. The very first jersey in the history of the Orlando Magic to be retired.
Still,
they did a ring of honor a few years.
What took them so long?
I think they was just
they
trying
had
to
nobody.
But see, this is the first time they
prominence of Shaq.
Well, first of all,
Penny.
They haven't. They really haven't. So I guess they should retire Penny's jersey next.
That should be.
For what? What did they win? What the hell did they win? Look, they didn't win any. I thought you got your jersey retired.
No,
because you did something.
You did do something. They won more. They won games. They performed.
Oh, so that's what we're doing now. Well,
you gotta have a championship for your jersey to go out.
I would think
most
so.
teams would. Most rafters wouldn't have any if that was the thing.
Well, tell me which rafters would be empty, because I don't know of a team that honors a player that literally has not won anything. I mean, well, the Grizzlies are not. Once again, I don't condone it. I mean, I think that Tony Allen and Zach Randolph gave the Grizzlies some level of cachet with the grit and grind. Mark Gasol, he won Defensive Player of the Year, which that is extremely debatable.
What about Jordan's team? What about Carolina?
What about Carolina?
They got any jerseys on the rafters?
I don't think so. I don't think the Hornets got anything up there. They shouldn't.
What do you mean they shouldn't?
They shouldn't. Grandmama? Alonzo Mourning? I mean, who's played for them?
All right.
When did they win anything? If they even smelled the championship,
for winning something. Somebody who came in and did.
Close the show.
We ought to look that up. We appreciate you being with us here on RO Sports. As you can see, we don't agree on everything. So tune in next week to see what we're going to disagree on then. Appreciate you being with us. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. My name is Howard.
And I'm the preeminent one, Ursha.
You said Ursha.
Larry Robinson, y'all. Peace.
You've been listening to a little R&R on sports, written and produced by Howard Robertson, Larry Robinson, recorded and mixed in Memphis, Tennessee.